everyone and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial for you and it is inspired by Guide Dogs Week. Now for those of you who don't know, I myself am a guide dog owner and I've been a massive supporter of the charity for quite a number of years now. And this year the Guide Dogs asked me to do a video inspired by the hashtag Let's Glow campaign. Now for those of you who don't know, the Let's Glow campaign is basically a day where they're trying to get all of Britain sparkling and glowing and looking all bright and neon-y and colourful and cheery for Guide Dogs Week. So what they've asked me to do is to do my own inspired look for Guide Dogs Week. So this could be something you could wear if you're going to a Guide Dogs event, a party, if you're doing a coffee morning, if you're doing a collection day for Guide Dogs, whatever. It's just inspired to give you some ideas of how you could do your own bright/neon inspired makeup look. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you today, and then I'm also going to be doing a hair tutorial, but this is the makeup part. First of all, I'd like to say that I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not an expert, I just like wearing makeup and I enjoy the process of putting it on. And this is not going to be a neon, like I have not gone all out, like I've done quite a bright eye and quite a nude lip because I want to balance it out a little bit. You might want to do a bit more of a bright lip and maybe more of a nude eye. It doesn't really matter, it's whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to get straight into it and I hope you enjoy it. First, I prime my skin using the Clinqiue Superprimer. Then I use the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation in the shade 51 and I dab this all over my face using the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge. And the way I do this is to dab it from the centre of my face outwards, and then using the little tapered edge I pay attention to the corners of my eyes and the corners of my nose just to ensure that I don't get any congestion of the product and that it blends nicely. And I also blend the neck and around my hairline just so I don't get a line of foundation on my face. And I just keep dabbing that until I have spread it evenly and I feel like I have covered my face enough. Then I used the Naked Skin Concealer by Urban Decay in the lightest shade, and I apply this by drawing a V under my eyes and then filling it in a little bit. And then I also add a little bit to the corners of my nose and any problems areas, i.e. anywhere I've got a little bit of redness or I might have a little blemish or so on. And then I just dab that in using the same sponge again, and I use the tapered edge just to pay attention to the under eye area just to ensure that I blend it nicely. The trick with makeup is to blend, build up and blend. Then I take the Bourjois Healthy Balance powder and using the Real Techniques stippling brush I just add a little bit of this to my T-zone, my nose and my chin and just dab this in and just press it into my face. I would recommend using a stippling brush for this because otherwise if you don't, the powder might go all over your face and it might make your face look quite congested and dry, and that is not the look you want to achieve with a powder. Just build it up until you have got enough. Then I take the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in the shade Eden, which is an absolutely awesome champagne colour with a lovely glittery undertone, and I just add this to my eye area and then pat it in with a ring finger, making sure to apply it everywhere including the brow bone, just so I have a nice even area around my eyes to work with, and so it helps the eye colours go on a lot more smoothly. Then I'm going to be taking the Benefit Hoola bronzer and I'm going to be applying this using the Barry M powder brush, and I just simply buff a little bit of this onto my face and I just do these circular motions and just add a little bit as I go, not adding too much to begin with, starting from the centre of my face and working outwards, being sure to blend around the hairline, the neckline and the jawline to ensure that I have a nice even finish when I have applied my bronzer. I really like this bronzer because it gives a lovely finish and it's really matte, and it's what I like at this time of year. I think it's really pretty. Then I'm going to be taking the Bare Minerals eyeshadow in the shade Snowflake, which is a lovely glimmering white colour, and I'm going to be using this because the white actually helps to neutralise any redness around the eyes, and it just helps when you're applying any coloured eyeshadow because it just makes it look a lot more smooth and finished.
and I'm patting this on using the MAC 239 brush, and this really helps to stop any fallout and keeps it in place, and I would recommend doing this and just patting it onto the eye from the corner outwards, making sure that you go up to the brow bone and covering your eye completely so it's nice and white to start with. You can also sweep any fallout off afterwards too. Then I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Electrics palette, which is a beautiful eye palette with some absolutely stunning colours in it. And this might be a bit adventurous for some of you, but hey ho, it's Guide Dogs Week. If you can't do it for then, when can you do it? So I'm first of all going to be taking this beautiful green shade called Freak, and I'm going to apply it to my eyes, just patting it on with MAC 239 brush, just all to the eyelid, and just going a little bit above the eyelid because my eyes are a little bit hooded, so I need to make sure that you can see the colour when I open my eyes. And just patting this on just to ensure that I don't get any fallout, and so the colour is nice and pigmented. Then I'm going to be taking this pink shade called Savage, and I'm going to be using a little slanted brush from Barry M just to draw on a line around my eyelid, just to draw the shape of my eyelid. And then what I'm going to be doing afterwards is blending it using the Real Techniques base shadow brush. Now I personally would recommend blending afterwards, otherwise you'll get a harsh line of the eye colour on your eye and it will just look quite harsh. But blend it afterwards and you'll get a lovely diffused look. Then I'm just doing the same on the other eye, and again just blending it outwards after I've finished, just to ensure that it looks lovely and diffused and so the colours bleed into each other. Blendy, 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 blendy. Sorry. Then I'm going to be taking the orange shade called Slow Burn, and I'm going to be applying some of this to the inner corners of my eyes using the MAC 239 brush, just patting it on, and then afterwards I'm going to be taking the MAC 217 brush and blending this outwards in soft circular motions just to ensure that the colour diffuses a little bit and it blends into the other colours that I've used already. Of course you could always go with the acid green colour from the shade if this is a bit too bright for you. And again blending on the other eye. Then I'm going to be taking the purple shade called Jilted, and I'm going to be applying some of this using the Real Techniques base shadow brush in a little V motion to the socket of my eye and just blending it outwards a little bit just to add a little bit more depth to the eye. And then I'm going to do the same on the other eye, and again just blending it in a little V motion of the outer corner of the eye and blending it in with the MAC 217 brush. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pat on some of the Freak eyeshadow again using the MAC 239 brush just to ensure that the colour looks a bit more pigmented because it's faded a little bit since I blended it all together. Then I'm going to blend it all together with the MAC 217 brush just to be sure that all the colours blend nicely together. Then I'm going to be taking the white shade called Chaos, and I'm going to be applying some of this using the MAC 239 brush to the brow bone underneath my eyebrow, just to act as a little bit of highlight and just to make sure that I have a nice transitional colour with the other colours on my eyes at the moment. And this is really good because it just helps to brighten up the eyes and just to lift it all up a little bit, and it's really good if you've got hooded eyes too. Then I'm going to be sweeping away any fallout that I've got using this little fan brush. Then taking this MAC Penultimate eyeliner in black, I am going to apply it to my eyes just in a smooth line to the lash line. I'm not going to do a big flick today because I want this to be quite centred around the actual eye makeup and the colours itself. So then I'm going to curl my eyelashes using these little Primark lash curlers that I've got. Then I'm going to be taking the Benefit's They're Real Mascara in black, and I'm going to be applying this to my lashes, particularly my top lashes, because I don't usually do my bottom lashes because I've got nystagmus, my eyes shake and the mascara goes everywhere. So I'm just applying this by gently bobbing my head up and down and just moving the wand over my eyelashes, and when I get to the inner eyelashes I usually tilt it a little bit just to ensure that I don't poke my nose off and end up with all loads of black mascara all over my inner nose area because it looks really annoying, and it's just so difficult to get off afterwards. Then the same on the other lashes, on the other eye, and just again just bobbing my head up and down slightly and just moving the brush just to ensure that the product gets all on the lashes and makes them look lovely and black. Then I'm going to be taking the Benefit Highbrow Kit in the lightest shade, I think it's the brown one, and I'm going to be applying this using the Barium Slanted brush to my eyebrow. Just the powder to fill in my eyebrows a little bit and to cover any sparse areas. Then I use the wax to act to fill in the eyebrows again, but also to keep the eyebrow hairs in place, just to ensure they look lovely and precise. Because for this look, I think you want your eyebrows to be quite dramatic to go with the very dramatic colours you've got on your eyes and to actually frame your face. Then I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Kit, and I'm going to be using the medium contour shade to contour my cheeks a little bit, and I do this by sucking in my cheeks so I look like a fish, and then applying this to the hollows of my cheeks and buffing this outwards. And then again the same thing on the other cheek after I've done that one, and just be sure that after you have actually applied your contour that you use a powder brush or some larger brush of some description to actually buff the area so it looks quite natural and the colour blends in nicely, just so you don't look like a chimney sweep, because that's never a good look with contour. And just take your time with this, make sure you blend and make sure you don't add too much in one go. Then I'm going to be taking the Bare Minerals Pop of Passion cheek colour in the shade Posy Passion, and I'm going to be applying this to my cheeks by taking a little bit on my fingers and blending it in, and then blending it outwards and upwards around the temple and around my outer face, just so it looks a bit more natural. And then again, the same thing on the other cheek, and you want to act as if you're drawing a C, so from your cheek up to your temple. Of course, don't put any blusher around this area, just blend it upwards after you've applied the blusher to the apples of the cheeks, just so it looks a little bit more softer and diffused, and it mimics your natural flush and it blends nicely so you don't have any harsh lines of blusher afterwards. Then I take my powder brush again and just blend it all, just to make sure that it looks natural. Then taking the Nars Albatross highlighter, I'm going to use a little bit of this on my cheekbones and on my temples and then on my chin and my nose. And this is called strobing, and this is a really popular makeup trend at the moment, and basically what it does is it mimics what would happen if you were to get a light and shine it on your face. It would highlight all the areas of the face that I'm doing now, and make sure that you blend this a little bit too. And I'm using the Real Techniques contour brush to do this. Then I'm going to be taking the Dior Lip Liner, and I'm going to be taking it in the shade 169, which is a beautiful nude colour, and I'm going to be outlining my lips a little bit just so they look a little bit more plumper and fuller. And one thing I'll say about when you apply lip liner is to make sure that you actually pay attention to the inner corners of your lips and open your lips a little bit to do this, because that is the area that always gets left out, and it's really noticeable when you put lipstick on. Also pay attention to the cupid's bow, and the way I usually do this is just to be very slow and to just take my little finger and place it on my chin to act as a little bit of an anchor when I'm applying the lip liner. Then taking the Bare Minerals Marvellous Moxie Lip Gloss in the shade Show Off, which is a beautiful pink colour, I'm going to be adding this to my lips. And I chose to go with a nude lip because I want to balance it out with the quite dramatic eyes I've got at the moment, but you might want to do a bit more of a darker lip. But for me personally, I chose to go with a nude lip because I think it looks a bit more modern. And that's the finished look! Whoop whoop whoop!
So that was my makeup tutorial today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought, if you've got any tips or tricks for how to get your own neon/bright inspired makeup look for Guide Dogs Week. And don't forget, Guide Dogs have launched a Pinterest board which you can go and check out via the link below, and there will be lots of cool ideas how you can get your own neon inspired makeup or hair or nail look or fashion look, whatever you want to do. And if you do recreate your own look, tag me on Twitter under @DavisonM, that's DAVISONEM, or Instagram under @Fashioneyesta2012, that's FASHIONEYESTA2012. And also don't forget to share them under the hashtags Let's Glow and Guide Dogs Week, because we'd really love to see your submissions of what you guys come up with. Also, please check out my blog www.fashioneyesta.com, that's FASHIONEYESTA.com, because I'll be doing lots of ideas for dressing neon, for dressing bright colours for Guide Dogs Week. I'll also be doing some more blog posts about Guide Dogs Week as well. You can check all that out on my blog. Let me know what you thought, and thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!